Hi crew, we're going to continue with our test review for topic 2 test that we'll be having this week. Continuing on now with estimating sums and differences. So when we want to estimate adding two different numbers, we're basically going to round to the highest place value. So I can look to the highest place value and then turn to the neighbor. If it's 5 or above, this would round up to 50. Again, as you get better at rounding numbers, you can see that it is a range between 20 and 30. This is closer to 20. That is how we can estimate even quicker. And then it's very simple. I add the two numbers. 50 and 20 is 70. That would be my estimate. For subtracting, it's the same thing. I'm going to go to the highest place value. So this would round to 200. And this number would round to 100. And my answer, 200 take away 100, would be 100. With decimals, again, it's the same thing. Round to the highest place value, looking to the neighbor. I don't even have to look at the decimal at this point. I know it's going to round to 20, take away. This one, it does make a difference. I do have to look to the number in the tenths place. And it is above a 5, so this would round to 5. I don't even have to put the decimal anymore. 20 take away 5 is 15. Down below here to add these two, again to the highest place value, this would round to 90 plus, and this one again I have to look to the tenths place, this would round to 4, so my estimate would be accurate at 94. Next on our quiz that you have to remember that we'll be having is adding and subtracting whole numbers. Now the only thing that would be complicated for you in this section is lining up the numbers correctly. And you can see I didn't do the best handwriting. I highly recommend using graph paper. You may use that on your test. But you must know that the ones place has to line up with the ones place on the other number. And make sure you can double check that you're adding those. 0 plus 9 is 9. And then again in the tens place, 1 plus 9 is 10. Carry my 1. Again, I got a little squished here in the hundreds place. Make sure I'm adding the two hundreds place together. 4 plus 1 is 5, plus 1 more is 6. And I would just bring down the 7, and that would be my answer. Down below here, again, I had to make sure I lined them up correctly with the ones matched up with the ones placed down below. So 2 take away 0 is 2. 5 take away 0 is 5. 6 take away 6 is 0. And then here I have to borrow. I cannot take 8 away from 0. I'm going to borrow from the 10,000s place. It would leave me with 0. Carry the 1 over. This number would become 10. Take away 8 is 2. 0 take away nothing. There's nothing in the 10,000s place, so that would be 0. And nothing in the 100,000s place. 1 take away nothing is 1. For our last type of problem, we're going to be looking at adding and subtracting decimals. Now I've already lined these up, and this is even a little bit more complicated. The key to this is lining up the decimal. So you can see I lined the decimal up, and I'm going to go ahead and bring it straight down into the problem right away. I had to line this number up as well. So there were 8 ones. There was nothing in the ones place for this number. And there were 3 tenths, so I had to make sure that was lined up under 2 tenths. There are no hundredths for this number. I could add a 0 if that made more sense and a little bit more logical when you're adding. I think that's a good tip to remember. So I go ahead and add now. 6 plus 0 is 6. 2 plus 3 is 5. I already have my decimal in place. 8 plus 0 is 8, and my number is complete. Subtraction is the same method. Again, I line up the decimals and bring it straight down into the problem. But I have to make sure then I line up the numbers correctly. So the 6 was in the the ones place, 1 wholes, and the 1 was in the tenths place. Again, there's nothing here in the hundreds place. I can fill in with a 0 just to make it more logical to me while I'm subtracting. So 1 take away 0 is 1, 2 take away 1 is 1, and 7 take away 6 is 1. And there you have it. Just don't forget if you're supposed to add or subtract.